All right, we are back with Yana Krasovska and with beautiful Kyiv and with an enigmatic monument where we left off. And Yana asked us to think about what it was and write it in the comment. Maybe people will do that, but now we'll reveal what it was and we'll continue our trip after that.
Yes, so this is a monument to the two fictional characters of a play by a Ukrainian playwright, Mihailo Staritsky, which was then in 1961 made into a movie which was wildly and still is wildly popular. And these are the two main characters. This is Pronya Prokofievna, the sole heir to the very small commercial empire of the Sirko family. And this is her uh, hapless suitor, uh, Mr. Holokhlastov, uh, a barber and a wannabe millionaire. And the, 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 the monument, actually, the figures on the monument bear very striking resemblance to the actors. So this character, Pronya Prokopievna, was played by Margarita Krenitsina, a prominent Ukrainian actress, and you can see she's a very beautiful lady by certain standards. And this is uh, Oleg Borisov, right? He played the role of Mr. Holokhlastov, the Kreshati-based barber. Right. So there is actually a small queue here. So I am I'm leaving the characters, but yeah, I really encourage everybody to see the movie, although it will be of lesser interest to the English-speaking audience. But those who are still nostalgic of the old movies can revisit probably.
Uh,
Uh,
I'm not sure
right, and like I
I'm
said,
not
it's
sure we
still.
mentioned the name of the movie. It's the
I'm so sorry. Yes, it's the chasing the two hairs. I'm sorry, chasing two hairs. Like за
which in
двумя
Russian
зайцами.
means trying to get to things at once, right?
Yes,
Pursuing
yes,
conflicting purposes or something like that. Um,
exactly, and achieving nothing.
right.
Right, and here we are going down the Andriivski Descent.
This is
It's
this is
quite
probably
empty.
the most iconic place in Kiev, which when I was there last time was all crowded and lined with vendors, street vendors selling different souvenirs. I don't know if it's
Mhm.
still probably not the case anymore, right?
Uh, Surprisingly, no. I mean, there is a street vendor here and there, but surprisingly, they're few and far between. And it's also not very crowded for a weekend. And right there, right here, to the right, there normally would be a picture gallery, open air picture gallery. But it's not here. I mean, while I was taking my coffee, I kind of looked around, and it's not here anymore. I don't know for, but there are people, as you can see, people are taking their well-deserved rest on a weekend. Uh, Definitely not bustling with people as it used to, but still, uh, still very lively. And yeah, some more of the
It's
graffiti.
it's pleasant to see that some people are taking pictures and like that there are tourists in Kiev. I guess people do visit Kiev, I guess from Ukraine, but the internal tourism, so to speak, but still. And yeah.
Yeah, there are also a lot of foreigners in Kiev, and because most of the international and foreign missions are based here. So I believe there are a lot of expats. But yes, also internal tourism is still up and running, I guess. So people still come to Kiev consider it relatively safe compared with the eastern parts of the country. Uh, and here is a copy of the monument to Yaroslav the Wise. Here it is, uh, known also by the Kiev folk as Muzhik s tortam, the bloke with the cake. Just because this, whatever he's holding, I believe it's a model of a Christian cathedral here, so it resembles a cake. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, it's a good angle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We could see that.
Right, definitely. Yeah, definitely could be a cake, right?
Right. Yeah. From this angle for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, still rather lively. Uh, a lot of young people, a lot of foreigners from the bits of dialect I can
Somewhere
hear.
around here, there is the Bulgakov Museum that was a
A little bit
subject
down there.
of some controversy. We'll get to it, right?
Yes, we'll get to it. Yes, there was some controversy, but we'll speak about it when we get to it. It's a little bit down there. There's still another 100 meters, I believe, and I think some people still do live here in Andriivski Descent. I mean, most of the properties here has been converted into commercial property, but I believe this one looks like a residential building to me. This one here. And this here. This building here is known as Richard's Castle. I believe it used to be, again, one of the tenements, one of these commercial commercial properties that would lease out apartments. It was rebuilt, I believe in the 90s, but as far as I know, it's still closed for tourists, for the public. Uh, the uh, famous stairs leading up to Shekavica, the 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 hill, known as the stairs are known as Izdechalnitsa because it's very winding and you lose your breath while going up there.
The Bulgakov house is somewhere around here, right? I believe.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So we are nearing the Bulgakov Museum. It's right opposite the Podil Theater. Uh, Here it is to my left. Uh, it's it's new building. The building of the Podil Theater was also subject to controversy. Not many people liked the building because it appears dull and a just a square, just a gray square right here. Right, you wouldn't know it's a theater if you looked at it and there wasn't a
Is it a new
poster
building? Like it was recently
saying it's
built?
a theater.
Was the theater recently
Yes,
built?
it was erected just before the war. The theater, I believe, uh, before the war, it was a little bit down there, down the Andriivski Descent, if I'm not mistaken. And then it moved into this new building here. And yeah, it was erected just, I think, a couple of years before the war, for 2022.
Yeah, because I don't seem to remember it, although
And here,
I was in Kyiv in 2021. Probably it was there already, but I somehow it didn't make an impression on me. I didn't remember it.
exactly, that's exactly why the controversy. People say that it's faceless. So yes, here is the entrance to the Bulgakov Museum. It's closed now. It's number 3. Let's see if you can see.
So is it
Right,
closed, just
number
closed, or it's
13.
actually closed because of the
It's
war, because of this
no,
backlash against the Russian speaking authors, Russian language authors?
no. It is open. It is. It is. At least it was open last year
Hmm.
when I was here and I visited. Uh, so I believe it's just closed because it's a bit late for a museum to be open at 7
Right.
in the evening. But I really liked the exhibition inside last year when I was here. It was well, first of all, they are doing a very good job. They're very dedicated, the museum personnel, to the Bulhakov heritage, to his personality. Yes, there is certain controversy, not only because he was a Russian uh, language author that he wrote in Russian predominantly, but also because of his apparent views, anti-Ukrainian views, apparently. But they still did a very, no, they're drawing a very fine line, between uh, his works and his personality, and also his background, right, and the political and other cultural circumstances of his time. So, uh, but generally, I would say at the beginning there was some attempts to vandalize the facade of the museum. Uh, the signs of that vandalism are now not visible, and there have been no attempts since then. So I would say whatever controversy was there, it is not here now. And now, if we wait for our turn, we'll see a small street monument to one of the probably most loved and uh, most remembered characters from his uh, Master and Margarita novel. It's the Code Beguimot, right? So this is the famous cat, and he's the kerosene lamp, gas lamp, right? And people rub his paw for luck. Let's do that too.
Yeah, there was the famous scene when he was holding this Primus, whatever it is, this
Yeah, the gas lamp.
burner. Yes, so that's
Uh-huh.
why he's captured with it. Um, okay,
Exactly. Because yeah, I am doing nothing.
all
I
right.
am doing nothing. I'm fixing my Primus.
Just fixing the previous. Yeah, I somehow,
Uh-huh.
like you're opening a lot of opening lots of things for me that, revealing things that I don't remember. I don't remember seeing that monument. Somehow I missed it. At least it didn't stay with me. So it's good.
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
yeah, first of all, it's small. It's really rather small. I mean, and it being well, now I'm looking from afar, and it really blends in with the handrail there. So you really have to know that it's there. And secondly, there is always a queue, so you might have just missed it because of the queue. There are always people there queuing, wanting to take a picture. And yes, speaking about the state of the buildings, for example, look here. It's a looks like a beautiful building underneath this protective cover, but yeah, definitely needs some upkeep and renovation. Right. I mean, look at these beautiful lanterns. Right. Waiting for its turn, I guess. Uh, right. Going down the Andriivski Descent. That's another theater, the Colesol Theater, Wheel Theater. I'm not much of a theater goer, so I wouldn't know
But I gather that
the kind
this
of place.
the theaters are open, right? People can go watch something.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, now it's summertime, and as far as I know, they're winding down for the summer to take a break. But yes, the theaters and the opera pretty much stayed open the whole time. Uh, so this is here, one of the first murals in Kiev, one of the oldest ones. This one here. Oh, really a shame that I can't make it. Oh, I actually can. Look. So it's one of the oldest murals in Kiev.
Yeah,
Has been here since early 2000s, as
that one I
far as I know.
remember. That's it's very memorable, the whole concept of this girl holding what is she holding? Another girl?
And boy, no, small boy.
Oh, okay, a boy. All right.
Yeah. So
Well,
you can
Kyiv
see.
is full of these murals. That's really a good thing about the city.
Yes, and there are more and more of those. And here is another small monument, and this one I haven't seen, interestingly. So this one is the monument to Alexander Vertinsky here, who comes from Kiev, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. He's from Kyiv.
Yeah, so
I
it's
mean,
actually not even to him, but to his stage character, the Pierrot.
right. I mean, now these monuments are very controversial. People want to, I mean, I don't know, if people spearhead it or who is behind this, getting rid of the Russian connected monuments. It's a complicated topic, to talk about.
Yes, and this is not the topic of this video, but as you can see,
Absolutely,
the monument
absolutely,
is
but
there.
it's
It's
there.
intact. Yeah, it's intact,
Yeah,
and nobody seems to be interested in it, for
right,
better or for worse.
right. It's hard to avoid political issues. You're doing a good job, but I am, always, like this images conjure up all this political uh, controversies.
Of course, definitely, but this will be maybe a topic for another video. I don't know. Yes, as
Right.
we are now nearing the Kontraktova Square, and while we are here, this one is a very little quaint museum, rather old one. So it's called the Museum of a Street. I really encourage everyone who comes to Kiev to visit. It's very interesting inside. It's a small one, but it's rather old. I think it's been here since late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And it just attempts to show you the everyday reality people living in pre-revolutionary Kyiv. And yes, as we are nearing the Kontrakova Square, there are more and more people. Maybe that was the reason for their not being a lot of people in Andriivski Descent because everybody is here apparently. So
It's really pleasant to
people are,
see lots of people. It's such a breath of fresh air, you know. Some people avoid crowds and don't like it, but I think everybody, would agree that it's great that you could see some bustling life here.
of course. I mean, it's not something that you would want to do every day, right? But it's nice to be, especially in times like this. It's nice to be among people. It's nice to know that despite all the horrors that this war brought and will probably bring, life goes on, and people are keen on continuing living. I am avoiding going to Kontraktova Square because we are going to the Great Choral Synagogue. And I believe we also don't have too much time, right? It's again 40 minutes, is it?
It's again 40 minutes, but we
Right.
still
So
we still have quite a bit of time, so it's yeah. So take your time as we speak. We can always do another program, Yana. If some
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, provided that the weather is fine, there's no rain, uh, and generally May is quite a pleasant month here in Kyiv.
we
We can
we
always have a
we should mention that this neighborhood is called Podol or Podil, right? Isn't it?
yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. So I believe it would translate as the foot of the hill, right?
Right,
Or the hem of a skirt.
right. Or
Yes,
the
but
lower.
essentially, it's called like this because it's at the foot of the hill, of the Volodymyr hill.
Yes, we were descending as people noticed. I mean, we, virtually speaking.
This is the Assumption of Mary Church. Well, this is uh, a church that was here since I think the 10th century, and it was rebuilt uh, in our time. Now we are getting a glimpse of the Kontraktova Square. Maybe yeah, like this. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So uh, it's also interesting. Normally, this would be teeming with people, but it's empty to my eye.
I want to ask you a slightly political question. Uh,
Go
what
ahead.
language is spoken in Kiev? Like you've been walking now, what language do you hear? In
I
what
hear
in
both
what pro
Ukrainian and Russian.
like in what proportion? Like half and half, you would say?
Yes, I would say it's 50-50. I would say it's 50-50, really. And there is also a lot of Pidgin Ukrainian or Pidgin Russian, Surzhyk,
Right.
which is very dear to my heart uh, because, there is a lot of creativity involved. So, yeah, there is a lot of that too. But yeah, it's 50-50. Um,
It has changed because you probably would agree, or correct me if I'm wrong, that it was mostly Russian speaking before the war, especially before the 2014. I would say like maybe 90% Russian speaking, if not more.
yes, I will agree. I would agree, yes. It was mostly a Russian speaking city, but uh, all the official procedures, official business would be conducted in Ukrainian. So universities were in Ukrainian, like any kind of official business, any sort of deeds uh, that you would that you would have from the anywhere you would go to a state office that you would have to speak Ukrainian, and your documents would be in Ukrainian too. But yeah, that changed since starting from 2013. More and more people started rediscovering the Ukrainian language and culture, literature too, and yes, more and more people, young people especially, first and foremost, young people uh, are speaking more and more Ukrainian nowadays. Uh, and this is a rarity here. Look, it's still one of the few tram lines that's still operating here in the center. As
And
far
the
as I know,
old
the
and
city
the
is
old tram also, I think, back from the Soviet days. It's not a new one. That that,
exactly that's a real I don't know, belongs in a museum, if you
but
ask me,
but
but
there are these
still
are
going
Czech.
strong.
As far as I remember, these are Czech trains from Czechoslovakia that were common in Russian cities, and I grew up with such trains too in Odessa.
Uh, Probably I wouldn't know, but I remember them in Odessa too. And yeah, so here is this tram line. Uh, as a car driver, I can definitely say I'm not a big fan of trams in the city center. I mean, the city center is bad as it is, but tram line just adds adds more headache. But yeah, it's I think this tram lines will eventually be phased out, and maybe one nostalgic tram will remain, just like it is in Istanbul. Just will be for as a tourist attraction. Um, we are about uh, to be nearing the synagogue soon, but I would say let's take a little bit of a detour and take a look at the Zsolting uh, cinema theater, the October cinema theater, because it's a sort of an iconic place. It's a place where young people like to go. It's really beautiful. It was gentrified, but for that we need to again go down to the underground crossing. Oh,
We have about 9.5 minutes, so that just heads up for you to know where we are.
okay, go see.
I guess Yana is underground, so we don't hear her, but I'm sure she's gonna reemerge sometime soon. We'll continue. I hope you're enjoying this wonderful
Cinema
walk
theater, very close.
around Kyiv.
Shikavitska Street.
Right. We lost Yana for a sec, but she's back. Yeah, we lost you for a second, Yana, but don't worry. I guess while you were underground, but yeah, you're back.
Great, great. So it's 3 minutes to a synagogue. We are on the right route.
When you pointed to the movie theater, was it that yellow building or what was the movie theater? It
No,
just
no, 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 no. This had to be a business center,
uh-huh.
uh, but it stays closed and unoccupied for decades now. I think there's some sort of a dispute between the developer and the city, and it just stays here for yeah, for many years now.
Hmm.
Uh, right there in the center. And right, we are what I believe is the heart of Podil. A not as iconic as the Andriivski Descent, but still a nice place to be. We need to cross here.
As we are nearing the synagogue, I should note that, as far as I understand, it was a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, like in late 19th century, early 20th century, and so it's not accidental that the synagogue is the is there.
Well, yes and no. As
Yeah.
far as I know, before the Jewish people were allowed to settle within the city, uh, within the city area, this was the district where the working class lived, because the gentry would live up there, closer to the Volodymyrska hill, and the working class people would live here, at the foot of the hill. But yes, when the Jewish people were allowed to settle within the Kyiv proper, then yes, it was a place where a lot of them lived. Right, we are passing by the cinema theater, the October Cinema Theater. So it's one of the, I think it's the only theater in Kiev that screens movies in their original language, just with the Ukrainian subtitles.
So it was built during the Soviet era, right? I guess it's kind of like modernist and
Yes.
interesting design. Uh, we could see it a little.
No, it's actually quite plain. And yes, it was built in Soviet times. Uh, but, oh, hold on, I think I'm a bit lost. Let's go this way. Uh, but yes, it was built during the Soviet times, and it was your regular run-of-the-mill cinema theater. But then, in the early 2000s, it was rebuilt, modernized, and the new management decided to change the concept for the cinema theater, and they are screening uh, festival movies, they're screening uh, Ukrainian films here, so it's not just Hollywood blockbusters. Uh, right. Okay, and this is more of a residential part of Podil here. Let me zoom in a little bit.
But I guess it's
Totally quiet
already,
here.
is it still Soviet architecture or it's already a post-Soviet? It looks like newish kind of buildings.
I think these were renovated
Oh,
because they definitely don't look Soviet to me. But
right.
knowing how difficult it is to construct anything new here, I believe it's just the good kind of a renovation.
Right, that's what I was confused about. Like they kind of look like newer buildings, but would be surprised that newer build such, a quarter of newer buildings would be built here. Yeah.
Exactly,
Because it's the
exactly. But
center of the city practically.
exactly, and it's very hard to construct something new, to develop something new. It's much easier to renovate what is still here,
So
because
we
you would have to
are
contain.
we have about 2 minutes. Do you think we'll approach the
Oh,
synagogue or not?
yeah, yeah, yes. Well, in the worst case, we'll make it a part three, but
All right.
we are here. We are here.
Okay.
We are
Just
here, and this is it.
great. And with 2 minutes to spare, so we can tell a little bit about the synagogue. Um,
Well, I leave this to you.
yeah. Well,
All I can say,
I've
yeah.
visited the synagogue a few times, and so I'm familiar with it. But to be honest, I just brushed up on it. Right now, we can see it. Before our recording, I read that it was built in 1895, and it was built as its so-called Aesopian synagogue. So, in other words, it was built like I guess from Aesop, like this was Aesopian comes from Aesop, meaning that it's not what it is exactly. So it was built as a building, so it's not recognized as a synagogue. And only later it was, there were additions to it, and so now it looks more like a synagogue. It was uh, closed in 1929 by the Soviet authorities, but then was reopened again in 1945, and it served as a synagogue actually during the Soviet times. So it was not closed, unlike the other synagogue, which is the Brodsky Synagogue, um,
Mm-hmm.
which was the puppet theater, I believe. Uh, this
Uh,
the other synagogue in Kiev.
yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, the other one.
But this one was a synagogue and was, I believe there were like quite, popular celebrations here during the Soviet times. Uh, so thank you very much, Yana. We're out of time.